$7. That's all it was. Just $7. The kind of money we lose under the car seat or forget in a jacket pocket. But for one man, a simple $7 choice inside a grocery store became the moment that changed his entire future. He didn't know it at the time, but that one tiny decision would rewrite his life, his habits, and even his bank account. And the most unbelievable part? It all started with something he decided not to buy. Quick question for you. Have you ever made a small decision that unexpectedly changed your day? Let me know in the comments. He walked into the grocery store late in the evening after a long day of work. He wasn't rich, but he wasn't struggling either. He was living like most people do, earning, spending, and hoping things would magically improve someday. If you're watching this and thinking, "That's me," hit the like button, because this story is for you. As he moved toward the snacks aisle, a bright red bag caught his eye. His favorite chips. Price, $7. He reached for it without thinking. Like everyone else, he believed small purchases didn't matter. $7 couldn't change anything, right? But something unusual happened. For the first time in his life, he paused. Not for the chips, but because he suddenly remembered a moment from a few days earlier. Pause and think. How often do you pause before spending? Comment below with yes or no. His bank app had showed him something strange. Even though he was earning well, his savings had barely moved in 3 years. Every month he promised himself he would save more. But somehow the money disappeared into small, invisible expenses. And now here he was, holding one of those invisible expenses in his hand. He put the chips back, not because he couldn't afford them, but because he suddenly wanted to understand something. How many $7 decisions controlled his life without him noticing? Quick poll. Do you think you could skip your favorite snack for a month? Comment yes or no. When he reached home, he opened a notebook. He wrote one simple sentence at the top. Where does my money actually go? The next day, he started tracking every expense. Coffee, $4. Snacks, $7. Random online purchase, $12. Another one, $19. Fast food, $11. By the end of the week, he calculated everything. He was shocked. He had spent $167 on things he didn't even remember buying. Not big expenses, not emergencies. Just small, quiet decisions, each less than $10, slowly draining his future. Tell me in the comments, were you shocked too by this number? That $7 choice inside the grocery store had opened his eyes to a truth most people never realize. Money doesn't disappear because of big mistakes. It disappears because of small habits. He made a decision. For the next 30 days, he would eliminate every unnecessary small purchase. Not to sacrifice his lifestyle, but to prove something to himself. The results were unexpected. By week 2, he felt more in control than he had in years. By week 3, he found himself saying no to things he didn't actually need. By week 4, he had saved more money than he had saved in the last 8 months combined. If you think this is inspiring, hit the like button right now. It really helps these stories reach more people. But the real change wasn't the savings. It was the mindset shift. He realized something almost nobody understands. Big financial change doesn't start with earning more. It starts with noticing what you already let slip away. 6 months later, he had built a small emergency fund. A year later, he started investing. 2 years later, he was living a completely different life. Calmer, more confident, and finally moving toward the future he always wanted. And it all started with a $7 decision he didn't make. Most people spend their life waiting for a big opportunity or a big moment that will change everything. But sometimes the real turning point is much smaller. Sometimes it's a quiet moment in a grocery store, when you finally ask yourself a question you've avoided for years. Where is my money actually going? Because once you understand that, your entire financial story begins to change. And maybe, just maybe, your own transformation starts with something as small as $7. Comment below. If you could change one small habit today to improve your life, what would it be? I'd love to read your answers.